Hi, I'm Chantel Cohen, and today we are talking about patterns of communication that interfere with trust. And so I'm going to be giving you some examples of these scenarios, and I see them oftentimes in my practice. And so one thing that I see is sometimes one person in the couple that's part of a couple will omit information, or they'll be cryptic about information or secretive. And for example, what I mean is, hey, babe, I'm going out with friends. Just kind of putting it in a text, but not saying where they're going or who they're going with or when they're coming home. They've omitted a lot. It's been sort of cryptic. Or, they're not saying that maybe they have a friend that their partner maybe believes that has interest in them, so they don't say anything. Sometimes people just feel, why do I have to explain all that to my partner? Why am I telling them that? It's interesting because we're really comfortable telling our bosses, hey, I need a personal day. I have a problem at home, or I've got a parent who's really sick. We tell people what's happening, or we tell our best friends. But sometimes people can look at this as control, like, oh, I don't have to tell that person anything. And it winds up making them sort of look secretive. So think about it. Communicating to your partner, just saying, hey, I'm going to X bar. You don't know where they're going. I'm going to a bar in Buckhead, for example. And suddenly your mind starts going to, well, why aren't they telling me this? This isn't such a big deal. What difference does it make if I know what bar they're going to or what friend they're hanging out with? Sometimes people just don't want to talk about it because they feel like, you know what? I don't need to tell my partner everything I'm doing. But what you do is you subtly erode trust. Because when you start to share your body, your finances, your time with someone, and you say that you're committed to them, that means that they get to know the inner workings of our lives. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to report to someone or that it's a parental relationship, but you share what you're doing. Guys, my husband just went to pick up our kids, and he called upstairs and said, hey, Chantel, I'm going to pick up the kids from school. You can imagine if he just kind of left or didn't say anything, or maybe he had to leave early. Obviously I'm not going to think anything of it, but we've got a 25-year relationship, really a 31-year relationship. So I want you to think about how these little things, being secretive, omitting things, or just plain out being cryptic, can send your partner signals, I don't know if I can trust him or her. Another is, and this is a biggie, guys, a pattern of communication that really undermines trust and interferes with it, is not asking for clarification when your partner says something that you don't understand. I cannot tell you how often couples have wound up in my office talking about, you know what, if you had just told me or asked me, hey, I don't understand, I would have given you all the information you needed. But what ends up happening is when we don't ask for clarification, we start to establish intent. Well, maybe they're trying to do something underhanded, or maybe they're meeting with someone, or maybe, they told me that their ex was trying to get in contact with them, or maybe they're cheating on me. You start establishing intent or mind reading. Maybe they just don't care about me anymore. One of the things that I'm going to talk about over and over again in the coming videos are about your inner dialogue. And I'll just give you a little definition. It is kind of your inner voice, and it's always talking to you. We have 70,000 thoughts a day, and not all of them are true. I know you may believe that all your thoughts that you say to yourself are true, but they're not all true. And so when we get confronted with a situation that we don't quite understand, our inner dialogue starts firing. And we start thinking, okay, you know, maybe he doesn't really care, or maybe she doesn't care about me. Maybe she wants to end the relationship. All these things start happening, all because we didn't ask for clarification. Or even let's go back a step further from where we were before. Maybe because our partner didn't communicate, they omitted certain things, and now our inner dialogue is off to the races, and it's saying all sorts of things, and it's saying things like, my partner doesn't care, I don't know if we're on the same page, I don't know if my partner has my best interests at heart. So all these things start going off in your mind, and you start thinking, I wonder who they're with, etc. I'm not saying that any of this is right, but what I am saying is that you can use strategies in order to prevent this by simply asking for clarification. I'm not sure what you meant by that, or I didn't quite get where you're going to be. It makes me worried when I don't know where you are, or it makes me just feel more secure. It's okay to make these statements. Guys, sometimes we don't ask for clarification because we're worried that our partner may feel that we're insecure, but what it does is it activates the inner dialogue. The inner dialogue starts going, and we start mind reading, establishing intent, and it undermines our trust for our partner. Remember, we're talking about communication patterns that interfere with trust specifically. The next one is this is a whopper, guys. It's not following through with what you say you're going to do. I hear people all the time say, I'm looking at my partner's actions. I believe that both are important. Words and action should be in alignment. So when you tell your partner that you're going to show up at their house at 2 o'clock, show up. Don't show up at 4. Because one, it sends a signal that they can't count on you. I mean, when you feel that you can't count on somebody, you certainly don't trust them. That your words and action, your words start to be meaningless because your actions, you're not following through with anything. That you don't have your partner's back when you don't follow through. It is just amazing how often I'll hear a client say, I love my partner. I love her so much. And then she'll say something like, yeah, you knew I had to move on Saturday, and you knew I didn't have a moving van. I was going to be struggling with all my furniture. You say that you love me, but you never offered to help. So she's feeling like I'm in it all by myself. How do you trust when you feel like you're in it all by yourself? How do you trust when your partner's words and actions are not in alignment? It undermines the trust. This is so vitally important. The last thing we're going to talk about, this is a biggie in terms of undermining trust. There are many of these, guys. We're not going to cover them all today. So let me end with this last one. This is one that comes up all the time in my practice. Ghosting your partner. Your partner sent some text that says, hey, can we meet for drinks tonight? And they send it, let's say at noon, and now it's 6, 7, and they haven't heard from you. So they just go home. They're wondering to themselves, because they're doing that thing we talked about earlier. Their inner dialogue has been activated, and they're thinking, did they get the text? Why aren't they answering? I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring them to go out with me, but I haven't heard from them. And so you send the next text, and your partner answers and says, oh, I didn't get it. Now you know that your partner is looking at their phone 24/7. In fact, they're barely getting work done. And you saw that they posted it on Instagram, and they said that they didn't see it. Guys, I cannot tell you how this makes your partner feel. They feel unimportant in those moments. not important enough to have you answer when they call. And a text, in a way, is a call. It's a reach. So ghosting, not responding, or giving the cryptic yes, but then not following through, guys, I cannot tell you, this sends clients into this black hole of, I'm not sure that this person is into me. I don't know if they care. I can't even count on them to do the simplest thing, which is to answer a text, which we know, and I'm going to do a mom thing. My kids always call it a mom thing. I just speak to Siri and I put it right into the text. It takes 2 seconds. Yeah, I would love to meet you there, or yeah, I can't do it today. I'm going to meet Jim at the office tonight, and we're going to work on this project. But I'll see you at home. Love you. Takes just a few seconds. So remember that when you're in partnership, there are ways of communicating that can interfere with trust. And I address this very issue in the Become One Again communication course for couples. Guys, this is a really wonderful course designed for those couples who are having these misunderstandings, or designed for couples who simply want to tune up in their relationship. Please go to becomeoneagain.com. I'll see you next week. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I'm Chantel Cohen, and I help couples become one again.